Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Clutch Conversations. It's your boy Mike, back at you one more again, live on another Thursday night, man. Appreciate y'all chilling, hanging out around, waiting for us to go live, man. I know we like 20 minutes late, and then the first time we tried to go live, we messed it up, but we're here now, man. It's all good now. Unfortunately, I don't know where Kevin is. I know he had to, he been working a lot in India. And he said that it could be a possibility that he would have to go to like India at the last minute. So I'm assuming something like that happened. I know when I confirmed earlier this week, we were still good to go, but it was still kind of that contingency out there. But anyway, we going on with the show, man. We got some people gonna hop on tonight, man. It's gonna be a good time, good fun show. If you want to hop on, man, just hit me up or say it in the comments, man, because I ain't really checking social media like that right this second. Say it in the comments, man. If you want the link, I'll shoot you the link, man. Y'all can hop on, man. Appreciate y'all coming out, man. Make sure y'all show Takara some love, man. Let her know how much you appreciate everything she's doing down there in the comments, and don't stop there. Make sure you show the channel some love as well. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and smash that notification bell so you can get notifications every time we drop a video here on the channel. And definitely make sure you follow us everywhere you can follow us. You can find us on Morph Market. Got some snakes posted up there. I'm not gonna post no new snakes until after I get back from Southeast Reptile Expo in Atlanta, Georgia. Make sure y'all checking that out next month, August 9th and August 10th. It's gonna be a good time. Every time I go to that show, it gets better and better. Bob and his team do the damn thing. So definitely check us out at the Southeast Reptile Expo. Gonna be vending with the homies. Justin from Armless Angels, Jason from Ancestral Python, Steven from Woodard Morse. It's gonna be a lot of good people there, man. So definitely looking forward to that. Definitely check us out, man. You're looking for something. When you see me, holla at me. Also find us on Instagram, 2 pages, Herp Collectors and Herp Collectors Network. You can catch us on both. Check us out on Facebook as well. And then, of course, check us out on major podcasting platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and more. So definitely check us out there. Make sure you're showing us some support. Also, make sure you're showing USARK and USARK Florida some support. Both of these organizations help protect our rights as reptile keepers. So it's definitely important that we support them. We show them love. We spread the message. Make sure everybody knows about this, man, because I mean, anything can happen, and we can lose the right to keep these reptiles. We can lose the right to do this thing that makes us like so happy. That's brought us all together, man. So it's definitely worthwhile investment to invest in the organizations that's helping protect our rights to do all this stuff that we love. So definitely tap in with USARK and USARK Florida, and also check us out, Double Clutch Patreon. Me and the homie Matt from Ebony and Ivory Reptiles. If you're not in the Patreon, definitely join the Patreon. You're missing out on a good time. And be sure to check out all the Herp Collectors Network shows, Conjure Corner, Retic Rundown, The Moat, Grow House, Clutch Conversations, Double Clutch, and Morph Map. Definitely check us out. We're going to show some love to the sponsors, and then we'll be right back. Join Canova's Patreon today and get access to hundreds of hours of exclusive educational content designed to help you run a successful ball python business. Get insider information on the latest genetics, hot new combos, and market trends, learning directly from the world's leading ball python designer. With 5 benefits packed tiers, you may be asking yourself, which tier do I join, Bit Mike? Well, if you're on the fence, I'd recommend the student tier. When I first joined the Patreon almost 4 years ago, this is the tier that I started on, and it's only gotten better since. So don't delay. Join the Canova Patreon today. Art comes in many forms. At Armless Angels, it comes to life. In life, success doesn't come to you. You go to it. In this game, forward thinking is the key to innovation and staying relevant. Plan your work and work your plan. Lose yourself in the art. Lose yourself with wetter morphs. Big shout out to the homies. Big shout out to the sponsors, man. Really appreciate y'all. All 3 of those gentlemen going to be at the Southeast Reptile Expo, so definitely check us out. Make sure you check us out everywhere. You can find us on social media. Let's see who we got in the building tonight. We got the homie Raj from Level Up. What's good? Appreciate you coming out. We got the homie Ash, Morph Minded. What's good, brother? Appreciate you coming out. We got the big homie Josh. What's good? Mantooth, Captive Bred, Reptiles, aka MCBR. Appreciate you coming out. We got the homie Wiz in the building. Again, appreciate you coming out, bro. Let's see who else we got. Fat Man Nation in the building. Appreciate you coming out. Appreciate you. I see a lot of people saying what's up and talking. Don't want to really skip nobody, but I'm not gonna go through all these, but we definitely gonna come back and holler at y'all here in a few minutes. We're gonna stop it right here with the homie Dwight from the Pie Man. Appreciate you coming out. We're gonna kick the intro, then we're gonna come back. We got the homie Josh from MCBR getting ready to come on, and we also got Chris from Fat Man Nation. So definitely, man, stick around. We're gonna have a good show. We're just gonna shoot the shit. Have a good time.
Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lady, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up. Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this?
Yo, what's good, fellas? How's it going?
Yo, what's up, man? I spoke too soon, man. I forgot that I already took all my shit down prepping for Gettysburg. Now I got to do this on my phone, so I apologize.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good, man. I appreciate y'all hopping on, man. How y'all doing?
Living the dream.
I'm good, Micah. I'm just excited to be here, be a part of it, help you out, show some support, and have fun. And next thing I know, you've got Chris Eaton on here, so this shit could get wild. I'll promise to behave, Chris, if you do.
I can't make that promise. I already did that once this month. All right.
Hey, we'll see where it goes. We'll definitely see where it goes. Like I feel like with me like not having like no prep for this, it can go down a whole bunch of different rabbit holes. So it just see where it goes. So, before we get too deep into the show, though, man, I want to make sure I say this because I would be remiss if I did not do this. Big shout out, big shout out to the whole Herp Collectors Network street team. I see y'all out there representing. Speaking of, we got the homie Jeff from Ballhead Balls representing right now. Big shout out to the street team, man. Y'all definitely doing y'all thing and really appreciate the love, appreciate the support, man. I appreciate everybody coming through. I almost called this tonight. I didn't know which route to go. Didn't really have anything prepped in terms of talking about like what we're doing from the Herp Collectors Network or Herp Collectors space. So I almost called it, man, but I'm glad we had some good people in the chat and glad we can jump on and get on here and do a little something. So what's been going on with you, Chris? Tell us about Gettysburg and what you got planned for that.
Yeah, we're heading out tomorrow, Gettysburg. I'm sorry about this shitty view that you got here. We're going to be heading out tomorrow. The show is on Saturday. We're going to stream all day live from the show and just have a little bit of fun. We got a lot of friends coming to that one, so it's definitely going to be it's going to be an interesting time, I think. So,
yeah, it should be a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of work, but it's definitely going to be a lot of fun, man. It's always fun. I know getting prepared for it and like that whole like day or so or whatever before, and like the rush of like getting everything together, because I'm always doing it in a rush. For whatever reason, it somehow always works out that way. It's stressful, but then once you get in it, kind of get in your groove, it's fun the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I just I got everything packed up already. I just got to pack up like an actual bag of clothes and stuff like that. But other than that, it's going to be a good time. You know, Nicole is going to be there. Warfels is going to be there. There's a lot of good people that are going to be at that show, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Nice. Are they doing like? Because I remember one time. And maybe just like separate events, but maybe it was even Warful, like they had the party at his house. Are they doing something like that this year?
Oh, they don't invite me to that. All right, that's yeah. I'm not well known enough for that.
You got
so I haven't gotten the invite.
You got to own BallPythons to get them kind of invites, bro.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you got to do something. You have to own more than just a skink. All right, in order to get invited to that party. Right. So
you're not going to Atlanta, are you? Or are you? Are you going to Atlanta?
No, not this year. In August, we're gonna be at Camp Freedom. So I can only handle like one trip a month. Okay. So I can't be doing multiple trips to multiple places. So, we got, multiple trips. Like in August, I'll be at Camp Freedom. In September, we'll be in Canada. And in October, I'll be at Tinley. So that's plenty for now,
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm not even going to Daytona this year just because of the Atlanta show is like the weekend right before that.
Right. I know. Yeah.
For the whole weekend, man, it throw you behind with everything, and I don't want to do that 2 weekends in a row. Even though Daytona like 2 hours away from me, but I've been to Daytona plenty of times. I'd much rather go to Southeast Reptile Expo, do my thing there, and then come home.
Right. No, I absolutely agree with you.
Josh, you ready for the series?
Probably not. I am, and I'm not. I'm one of those guys that will. I won't procrastinate, but I'll do little things here and there, and then when it comes time to the final week, to me, I just kick in. It's go time. I'm boom, 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 and wide open. So I will. I say that it's what 2.5 weeks away, August 9th. So yeah, essentially 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, not even really 3 weeks. I will be ready probably the weekend before August 9th, and we'll be on point. So
yeah, I'm the same way. I operate best under pressure, and so
I'm
like
just
they're preparing for it. And like mentally, I know like exactly what I need to do, and kind of I already got a good idea of like what animals I'm taking, like all that good stuff. I really hadn't unpacked much from the last Southeast Reptile Expo, so my stuff just ready to go. You know what I mean? And so it's just really kind of just getting mentally organized, getting it all together, and getting on the road.
Right. So you still got the snakes in the displays.
Nah, not that bad.
Right.
Mike, are
All
you
right.
vending and selling again, and streaming?
Say again.
Are you vending and streaming again?
I plan to just be vending.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was a lot of work to do both.
Oh yeah, I could imagine. Yeah.
I tell you, Chris, Mike is a machine. I don't know how he does it.
I know. I've witnessed him. Okay.
Unless I will say this, unless I got somebody who want to come and host the show on my behalf, I'm open for that. But I don't know anybody who can do it this time around. So if somebody wants to hit me up, definitely hit me up.
Damn, Chris, did you feel that?
I did feel it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Wiz and Keys going this time?
Yeah.
They felt it too.
Felt what?
Nothing. You said you didn't have anybody that could host the show.
I'm talking about that's going to be there.
I got you.
Let me turn off some of these lights. Jesus Christ.
What kind of strip club is that you're in there, Chris?
Don't worry about it, all right?
Yeah, that's good right there.
Yeah. No,
with the blue light, it was straight. With the blue light, it was straight too.
No, this is going off too. Jesus. That man, Mike, you got me wheeling all over the place. All right, there we go.
There we go. There we go.
Yo, this sucks. I don't know how people do it on their camera, man.
I'm literally doing it right now for my iPhone 16. That's the only way I do any of this.
I did it for my phone like once or twice, but outside of that, I have not, and I don't really like it.
Yeah, I can't even enlarge the screen, man.
No, you can't. But, you know, if that's the only way you've done it, that's the only way you know to do it. So that's how I've done it. This is how I know to do it.
Yeah, right now it may as well be an audio podcast for me, you know, so.
But you just fine, man. People will give you an excuse. You did jump on at the last minute, so people will give you an excuse.
Your makeup's on point, Chris.
That's all I care about.
Yep, you look good.
You got to keep all of this together, okay?
Yep, keeping it all together.
Yeah.
How many snakes you bringing, Josh, for the expo? You vending, right?
I'll be assisting. I'll have some animals there, not quote unquote vending. I will probably have. I'm trying to figure out how I can do 26, you know, and make it work, but I'll be close.
Be assisting, but have 26 animals. Yeah,
there's a lot to it. I'll have a lot of animals. So
at the show, you talk about at the show, right?
At the show.
Okay, who are you assisting?
Antoine. Antoine and I will be there together.
Okay, nice. Big shout out to the homie.
Yep. I absolutely love Antoine.
Yeah, Antoine is good people.
Yeah.
Great people.
So in terms of like snake mix, you bring like your high dollar stuff, you bring in like more of the pet animals or a little mixture of both. What's your plan?
I honestly don't have anything that's really what I would say pet animal. I kind of do and I don't, you know. I've got a really nice blackhead leopard Mojave, you know, hypopod clutch that I'll be bringing. I'll be bringing a bunch of quad hets and some hypo triple hets, things like that. So I've got really some baseline project animals that I can bring, and I think I can get some people jump started with a hypo triple het project or a quad het project. at a reasonable price. So, and all of the animals I'll bring that I produced in house. There won't be anything that I bring that I didn't make myself. So.
Okay. What all you got in that quad project?
I've got Desert Ghost, Inchy, Hypo, Clown Pod stuff. And I've got other clutches in the incubator that haven't hatched yet. So a lot of those clutches that haven't hatched are going to be, some exanthic quad hets and quint hets. I got some deep things going over here.
You got some nice females in that quad project?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you got specifically that you are gonna be letting go?
Well, the females I'll be bringing in the quad project. I'll be bringing some Hypo and Hypo Inchy triple het DG Clown pods. I'll have some males as well. That's all I can actually bring to the show. That'll be ready now. But for upcoming things coming up, I've got other clutches that will assist in that project that are coming up. It's just the timing's off. When February comes around, I'll be stacked because I've got 22 clutches this year. And my average clutch right now, 7.3 animals, 7.3 eggs.
How many clutches do you normally have?
Last year I did 9.
Okay.
So, I went from 9 to 22, but I'm prepared. Everything's set up. Everything's on point. I'm ready to roll.
Gotcha. I just did a real quick likes check. We had 22 likes, but it's like 36 people in here. So y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. We got 14 people slacking, at least 14 people slacking. Make sure you hit that like button. Show the channel some love, man. Yeah, man. I debated like whether or not I want to do the quad project. I'm still not all the way convinced that I want to do the quad project, just because that's a whole nother like project to like focus on and make sure I got all the moving pieces for it and all that good stuff.
Right.
I have some animals, like I got a couple females right now, they visual clown combos, this triple het. I'll keep those and I'll have them like at my disposal if I want to use them. But I'm really more so focused on the triple, like the Hypo DG Clown project, just because I got a better vision for what I want to do in that project, and then also I want to limit my numbers, just because I don't want to get burned out.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing when you want to work a quad project. So I'm kind of working a quad project with a lot of forward thinking in mind. So I kind of went deep on a lot of different aspects. Like part of the quad project, she's about to lay. She's up there now with a DG pod het Hypo to a Hypo clown het pod. So that'll be the second wave of that. And other things that are going to be in the quad are going to be some DG exanthic Hypo clown pods. I've got that project in the works, and I will have 2 clutches coming of those that will be the baseline for that project. But if I'm going to work a quad project, I have to have Hypo in it. I have to have pod in it, and I want clown in it. Obviously, it's going to be DG or exanthic. And eventually, here in the next 3 to 5 years, hopefully I make the DG Hypo clown exanthic pod. And there's the 5 gene recessive.
Nice. So what are your requirements?
That's my goal.
Gotcha. What are your requirements for animal to be show ready? Like a certain amount of meals, like
if I'm looking at animal to be show ready, I got to know that animal's had at least 4 to 5 meals. That animal's going to feed when I want to feed it. And I want to know to myself that if that animal satisfies my expectation, I know it's going to satisfy the buyer's expectation, because I'm really picky on that. If I've got an animal that's fed 3 times and it's hesitated those 3 times or 4 times or whatever it may be, I'm probably not bringing that animal to the show. Actually, I'm not going to bring it, because to me, that animal doesn't have the confidence that it needs. And that's, to me, self-confidence in the animal to be able to feed, be acclimated, and actually, be ready for the next person. Now, if I slide the tub open and that hatchling's looking for food, that animal's ready.
Yeah, for sure. We talked the other day, like last episode of Double Clutch, like a couple weeks ago. We
Yep.
talked about underfeeding animals, and I mean, we both have, like, when I say we both, I mean like me and Matt, we both have come across people who have animals that's like old as hell, but they seem to be super small for their age, like crazy small. Have you come across that? And Chris, you probably come across like stuff like that as well, like even back in the day. Was that like a thing then too?
Yeah, that was maintenance feeding, you know, back in the day. But I really don't think that it comes across now as much as we're led to believe, like all you guys saying on the podcast that you know, oh, it's 2 years old and it's only 80 grams. You know, I don't think that that's the majority. I think that's the exception, not the rule. But I think that since it is a negative thing, everybody picks up on it and they're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. But common sense says, you know, people they've smartened up to the hobby, right? So they know if an animal is 2 years old, what it should be weighing right now. And I don't think that people are willingly going out there saying 2-year-old animal, 80 grams, $800. You know, I think that most people have the common sense to, even if they're doing it, they have the common sense not to advertise it, you know?
Yeah.
You know what? That brings up a really good point, Chris. And I've been in the hobby since the late 80s, you know, early 90s. And, you know, back in some of those days, maintenance feeding, real maintenance season was a thing because you'd pick up a python and whoever told you is don't feed it any more than once a month.
Right.
That
Yeah,
was
I remember.
that was the standard, you know, that was the standard protocol, which was wild to me. I always wanted to feed the shit out of something, see what it would eat, what it would do, how it would grow, how it would develop, and not to the point to where, you know, I would change the animal structure or, you know, get the animal obese or have the animal regurgitate. You know, I would just say, well, once a month seems like a awfully long time, you know. Let me feed
Yeah.
it every
Well,
2 weeks.
when I was doing it, maintenance feeding was once every 10 days. That's what they considered it. And
So
even
that's
that,
different to me. Well, like once every 10 days, to me, that's not bad. I'm talking about like barely feeding it. And then it's like the extreme example you gave, like is 2 years old, and then it's like 80 grams. Like that wasn't my specific example, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Like, for example, somebody told me about so they went on somebody's, I won't say no names or whatnot, of like the buyer or the seller or whatever, but they went to the seller's page. They saw an animal that they like. As they looked at it more, they saw that it was like extremely small for how old the animal was, and so they inquired about the animal, and the guy was like, yeah, it is small. We don't like pound our snakes with food. And again, the weight that it was at, and I tried to pull it up as we was talking, but for whatever reason my phone ain't loading because I want to get the exact weight, but it was just really small. Suffice it to say, it was really small for the age that it was. And that ain't had nothing to do with like pounding it with food. Like it was just really small for the age that it was. And so the person said, like a year or so later, they happened to be scrolling still on Morph Market, and the same snake was posted, like same snake, same genetics, same sex, same Morph ID, and the weight hadn't changed that much. But what had changed was the birth year. They had bumped the birth year up. Like that's the kind of shit I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, that's something else. I had well, I picked up a couple of animals that were maintenance fed from a breeder year before last. You know, I knew they were maintenance fed because if you've got a female on there that's 18, 19 months old and she's 350 grams, that tells me all the story I need to know. But I'm confident enough to still buy that animal, want to work with that animal, see if I can change its habits or develop it more. And one of them it worked out well with. You know, she's in the rack now. She was ready to breed this year. She reabsorbed on me. Actually, she'll be ready to go this year. She reabsorbed last year, but one of the other females hasn't progressed as much because I think early on with the snake and an animal, whatever habit you start that animal with, It's kind of whatever you started with and that habit, they develop that, they adjust to that, and that's kind of what they get used to. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, but also at the same time, if you bought animals knowing that they're maintenance fed, it's on you if they don't
Hmm.
if they don't do anything more than that. And if you're fine with that, that's great. But I've
Yep.
seen snakes change behavior. We had one snake that would only eat in March. Okay, and every year it just only ate, like it would pound in March, but it wouldn't eat for the rest of the year.
That's crazy.
And so that snake became a pet real quick, because
Yep.
we couldn't sell that animal to anybody. Um, so sometimes the snakes are just borderline stupid, right? Like, I mean, sometimes they don't know enough. If you have to assist feed a snake more than 3 or 4 times before they get it, is that snake really destined to do anything great? And 99% of the time, the answer is no.
Yeah, that's my opinion too. Like when you got a assist feed that much, like me, I'll assist feed like a few times and until it gets eating on its own. And once it starts eating on its own, I don't like to go back to assist feeding because I feel like
Right.
at that point I'm forcing this snake to live when it's clearly
Right.
telling me, hey bro, I'm not even supposed to be here. And so I don't like to go back. Like once you start eating on your own and you show me you can eat on your own, you're on your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. There was one thing people were talking about, like the number of snakes available on Morph Market. I was talking to an old school guy that's been doing this for 50 years now. And he was like, that number on Morph Market of available snakes, when people think the number is going down, that's just a bunch of bullshit. Because if there's 30,000 snakes on Morph Market, let's say, he told me, he goes, there got to be at least 800,000 snakes in the country, ball pythons in the country. And I kind of agree with him on that thing, because he was like, every kid in Florida produces 10 clutches a year that you never hear about. Like there's a kid on every block in Florida that's producing ball python eggs. And then the other thing I would worry about, and maybe you guys could explain this to me, is there's 30,000 snakes on Morph Market now, right? Give or take. Those are snakes that haven't sold for a while, man. So you guys are starting the game over 30,000 snakes behind, right? Technically. But like, who's going to buy those 30,000 that are on there now?
well, we thought it was going to be Kevin McCurley, but he didn't show up today.
But believe me, Kevin ain't searching Morph Market for the latest deals on ball pythons, right?
You never know. You never know who might be in the market. Yeah, I mean that is a good point. It's a lot of snakes and people starting to hatch more snakes, and it just kind of like keeps the number keeps like compiling. Like that baseline number is probably gonna get bigger and bigger, if that makes sense. Because I feel like every year it's gonna be like X or Y or Z amount of snakes that sell, but then like after those sell, that baseline number is kind of like higher than what it was, and higher than what it was, higher than what it was. I mean, it's just part of it. Like I know a lot of people who sell thousands of snakes that don't even post nothing on Morph Market, that don't do nothing online, and like they produce like thousands of snakes and ship them overseas and sell out every single year. So that's a part of it too, is like finding like the different sales channels. I can tell you personally that only relying on Morph Market don't work for me. That's why I'm trying to like create multiple sales channels, like whether it's through social media, whether it's through going to a show, whether it's through hooking up with people locally, whatever. I'm trying to tap into every avenue I can get into to sell them.
Well, you have to nowadays, right? I mean, like Shane, for instance, isn't even on Morph Market. He sells the majority of his through Instagram and shows, So the way to do it is just you have to have your own following now. That's why when people, motherfuck Palm Street, you know, Palm Street could be a good outlet if you got a giant crowd and your crowd shows up for you on Palm Street. You know, you'll probably have a pretty good night there. But for the people with no crowd, I think that's going to be rough for them.
Well, and that's a really good point, Chris. I think that certain people are going to struggle, certain people will flourish. I think it's all on the individual, what you want to create, what you want to make. You know, if you're still chasing a base hypo DG clown at this point in time in the market, you're already 3 or 4 years behind. Now, right. If you're chasing a hypo DG leopard clown or hypo DG yellow belly clown or spot nose hypo DG clown, you got different avenues that you really can open up, because, you know, we say things like hypo DG clown because, you know, in 2022, you couldn't touch a hypo DG clown for less than $12,000. You could right. not do it. That was the money you were going to pay, and they weren't sitting there.
But why did you guys, and I could say you guys because you guys are both breeders, why did you guys wait so long to throw in some incomplete dominant, you know, genes into the mix?
I don't do that. Like, I'm like on the opposite side of the spectrum with that. I prefer to have incomplete dominance. Like, I'm working multi-recessive projects, but one of the reasons why I haven't produced like a bunch of like triples and doubles and stuff like that is because I didn't take that route. Like, I'd rather get the incomplete dominance in because I want to see like cool looking snakes. Like, don't get me wrong, a hypo DG clown is a cool looking snake, but hypo DG hurricane clown is a lot better looking snake.
Right, right.
DG spot nose hurricane yellow belly clown is a even better looking snake. You know what I mean?
Right, but nobody did that for years.
I don't
know. Just like here's my triple head normal. Next thing you know, you got a rack full of normals that you're asking $100,000 for. You know,
I like cutting the eggs, or I like seeing the snakes come out the eggs. I don't really cut that much anymore. But I like seeing the snakes come out the eggs, and I like seeing cool looking snakes come out the eggs. Like, that excites me.
Well, and the other thing that we talked about it on the past shows that I've done quite a bit, but I'd like your opinions. Like, everybody knows that eventually, right? It may not be 5 years, may not be 10 years, but eventually Petco is going to be carrying triple visuals, right? So what's the plan for when the snake that you could get at Petco looks as good or better than the snakes that the breeders are asking $20,000 for?
You know, actually, that's actually a pretty good observation, and I've thought about that a lot. I think the difference, you know, when you're breeding ball pythons is going to be how creative can you get. You know, this is the canvas you have. So if your canvas is going to be all recessive projects, everybody knows exactly what that recessive animal will look like, or they have a vision for it. What they don't have a vision for is when you do a black pastel hypo DG clown pod or leopard or something that, you know, that's going to add some pattern to it. You just basically, to me, you just got to paint your own picture. What do you want to see? The rough part about when you want to paint your own picture, like I've got projects that I'm working on that a visual's never been produced. Guess what? I know that. I'm the guy that has to put the work in to produce the visual, to bring it to market, and now everybody sees that visual in my vision, and they're going to be like, oh, shit. I remember when he was working on that, and I thought, that's going to look like shit. And guess what? If it does look like shit, the market's never going to see it. I'm just going to keep moving forward.
Right.
You got to show it. You can say it look like shit, and you're going to quit working the project, but you got to show it, bro.
Yeah, you still got to show it.
but the thing is that you're still selling to other breeders at that point. Like, the value of that snake is in the genes, right? Whereas the value to somebody who'll spend $1,000 at Petco is not going to be in the value. Is not going to be in the genes. The value is going to be in how good it looks, right? Because they want a display pet or whatever their first make is going to be.
Right.
So I think that I don't know if the breeder market, but because the breeder market is dependent on these big guys that come in every year and spend a couple of $1 million, right? That's really what keeps the breeder market in the black right now. What happens when you skip a year or two of somebody coming in and putting $1 million into the hobby? That there's an issue there, you know.
No, maybe not necessarily. What I mean by that, yeah, that's kind of where. Yeah, you're right, Mike. It's just one of those things. I think to where, you know, me as a breeder, I'm at a point now in my collection where I can trim down some things, dial in some things, maybe make 5 or 6 less clutches next year, but I can produce 5 or 6 higher end, better quality clutches with holdbacks and things like that. So I think it's all about managing your animals, managing your holdbacks, staying on point with your project. But let's face it, how many people get in a project and next thing you know, their ass is out of the project in 2 years before they ever even gave it an opportunity? I think that's kind of where the market is right now. You got to dig in, you have to dial in, and you have got to see it through.
Yeah, I think that's a big issue in terms of people project hopping and like this project hot right now, so everyone trying to like run and get that project. Like, to me, that don't make sense. I feel like you come up with a vision, you know what you like working, regardless of what's been made in there, you know what you like working, and then you put your head down, you put in the work, and you work on making like some dope animals, and you prove to yourself and you prove to everybody else that, hey, this is a worthwhile project. Perfect example. And admittedly, this is a project that I almost got out of, not because I didn't like the project, but because I wasn't like making a lot of progress in the project. Ultramale Clown project. A lot of people been getting out of Ultramale, this, that, and the third. It's still so much to do in the Ultramale project itself, just straight up Ultramale. It's still so much to do with Ultramale Clown. Everybody kind of slept on Ultramale Hypo stuff. We saw that Chris Hernan had some crazy, like, super gravel hypo Ultramale stuff that was just like crazy looking. It's still so much work to be done in that project, but I just feel like sometimes projects get a bad rap in the market or in the mainstream, and then everybody like poo-poo on them, they shun it, the price get affected on the project because it's not the cool project, when there's so much stuff still cool to do in the project. But now everybody looking at this, and this is the new shiny toy. I need this.
But I think that's what people with no confidence, right? Because the people with confidence are going to be like, hey, this is what I produced and it looks great and it's Justin level or Miguel level type of quality. The problem is that if they can't convince people that it is that type of quality, they're not gonna make any money off it. That's why I understand why people are chasing the dream, right? Like, people chase projects all the time. I understand that because they think that there's more money to be made that way, instead of like doing your own thing and, you know, rolling the dice on whether your project will make any money, right? I think what's going to happen, truthfully, is that there's going to be a leveling off price of like $2,500 to $3,500 an animal, and the majority of great animals that you see are going to be in between that price.
You know, I agree with that, and I've thought a lot about that over the last 18 months. You know, what's going to be kind of the new standard, or the new bar, you know, that gets set with a new combo. You know, what's really going to be the bar that animal sells at? Is it going to be 30 grand in 3 years from now? Sure, it's still going to be 30 grand in 3 years from now. But here's what it's going to be. It's not going to be your triple recessive that you haven't seen. It's going to be your quad, or it's going to be your quad with codoms that's a quint, that's het for quint. You know, it's going to be something. So the bar just keeps going like this, right? So when the bar's not moving up, and you're not creating anything any better or more elaborate or something just jaw dropping, then all of a sudden that market gets stagnant. And I think that's kind of where we are right now, is a little bit of a stagnant market. And then you got people that are working more incomplete dominant animals, creating new combos with those because it's easier. And now there's a lot of incomplete dominant animals that'll sell for more than a double recessive that are het for triple, will sell for. Let's face it, I've watched it happen. I've seen it happen.
When you say the market is stagnant, are you saying the market is stagnant because of like the projects and not a lot of momentum in the project space? Or are you saying the market is stagnant because of like economic factors and all that kind of good stuff?
I don't think the market is stagnant due to economic factors. I think the market is stagnant. Economic factors play a little part in it, but I think the real reason the market is stagnant, so to speak, right now is because it's that little bit of lull to where everybody's breeding, trying to make the next best thing, and it takes time. I bet if you were to go back in the history of the market, just look at prices. When the first double was made, the first triple was made, I promise you there's probably a lag in the market because there's only so much you can do with a triple that takes as much time to make as it does to go ahead and shoot for that quad. That's where I think we are in the market. I think we're in a place in the market right now where all of us have worn our thumbs out, scrolling Morph Market, and they're like, well, shit, I've seen 14 Hypo Pastel DG clowns today, Hypo Black Pastel DG clowns today. I've seen Cypress this, I've seen Cypress that. So everybody's kind of looking for the next best thing. And the breeding cycle hasn't really taken time to catch up with that. That's my opinion. Everybody may think I'm crazy, but I think that's where we are right now in the market.
I think that the problem is that there's less and less. There's always going to be innovative people in the space, right? But there's less and less innovative people at that high level, right? So, just take a look at the average friends of yours, okay? How many of the average friends of yours are in this hobby thinking that they're the next greatest thing, that think that they're going to be the next best thing based on genes that historically haven't sold well or genes that historically haven't done anything? There's a lot of low mid-level breeders that'll never get past that low to mid-level point because by the time they can, things are 5 times harder to get to the next level, right? So, the majority of people, I think their collections are awesome, and I'm not saying they're not. Right. What I am saying is, I think the value of those collections are overrated right now.
And we'll make sure we clip that for the real. Chris said everybody's collection is shit. So.
Yeah, that's what I just heard.
That's what I heard.
Chris is over there just trying to get a leg up on everybody. We get it.
That. Yeah, there we go. He was waiting to make that one-legged joke. He was waiting to grab that low-hanging fruit, and he's like, "I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it."
I just made a triple visual incomplete dominant het for super. So, I think you brought up, actually, Chris, you said something that I said earlier in this year when I was talking to a really close breeder friend of mine. I think what has happened now is there's a tier of buyer that we're missing. Okay. And it's kind of that middle class buyer. Right now, you got breeders up here with high end stuff, and you got some things down here, people that are buying maybe a little on the high end and a lot on the low end. But that guy that buys the double het, the triple het, I think those buyers are a little scared right now. So I think we're kind of missing that middle tier of buyer in the market.
I would agree with you there. Yeah, I tell people all the time, take 30 white snakes to a show and sell them all for $200 a piece. You'll make $6,000 every weekend. Okay. because those are pet level impulse buys that everybody's you're going to sell out of. And I think that you can make more money now spending less money on animals, just simply because the lower end is what's selling more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also going to depend on the breeder. You really have to put more thought in it. So anybody new to this, anybody coming into this right now, you have to put a whole lot of thought in what you want to do. You have to formulate a plan. You don't have to buy a lot of animals, but you have to formulate a plan and stick to it. And I think that's more critical now than ever. You can't afford to hop around from project to project, because you're going backwards anytime that you do that. Because it's kind of like the person that, when I interview somebody, at work, that wants to come to work. If I look at their resume and I see that they've had 6 jobs this past year, and I think they're qualified to do the job, I want to know, why did you have 6 jobs this past year? I want to have a conversation with them about every single job. And if I don't hire them, I want to let them know, sooner or later, you got to dig in and go to work. Because if you don't, you're always starting in at the ground level. No matter what you do, you're in an endless cycle of job hopping. The same way with breeding snakes. If you're not putting the work in and starting from the ground level and seeing it through and growing what you have, then you're always going to be starting over at the ground level.
Right,
I don't give a shit who you are.
That's what it's all about, is the gamble, right? Of seeing if the project, works. I mean, breeding ball pythons is probably better than having like a slot machine addiction, right? It's probably a little bit better than that. But that's really what people are doing when they're jumping from project to project. I don't know, man. I just think that I think that something has to change in order for it to be viable for a lot of people. I do like the fact that most people are looking to make 30, 40, 50 grand a year now, as opposed to being the next Justin. Okay, I do like the fact that that's kind of taken a bigger hold on the hobby, because 30 grand a year on top of your retirement or on top of your job, that puts you in a whole new tax bracket, right?
Yeah, it's attainable.
Right.
Yeah. That's so much more attainable than saying I'm going to open up a 7-room facility, on a piece of land somewhere, and I'm going to start off in debt because I'm behind on the facility build, So I think that portion of the hobby has definitely become a lot better than it was 5 years ago. But there's still a lot of people who are producing junk, calling it powerhouses, when the bigger guys would literally sell that snake for $11 or $15, wholesale to somebody. So you really got to figure out, like what the perspective is. And if you're, 7 gene possible head is worth anything to a certain amount of people,
Well, I agree with that, and I get that to a certain aspect, but I think also on the breeder front, what we have to do a better job of, and I do this. If anybody hits me up, we have conversations. I want to know everything about that buyer. I want to know what they're working with, and I want to benefit and help them any way that I can, because ultimately, if we don't help grow and educate the next generation of breeders that's coming up, then we're never going to get anywhere. I don't believe in gatekeeping. I don't believe in any of that shit. I'm going to give the knowledge I have to whoever the next person is. Whether or not they take it is up to them. I can give them that knowledge. I can help them whether they buy an animal or not. But if they don't listen to that, then shit, that's on their ass, not mine. But I think in general, we have to treat the person that's going to buy the $100 snake like the person that's going to buy the $10,000 snake. because if we don't do that, then we lose ultimately the person that buys a $10,000 snake, because let's face it, we all started out with a $100 snake.
No, maybe you guys did. I sure as fuck didn't.
Right.
So,
Hey, we're gonna take a real quick sponsor break. After that, we'll be right back. We'll wrap this up.
Known for his innovative approach to genetic shed testing and top quality ball pythons, Grey Rider Reptiles also excels in exceptional customer service and responsiveness. With a quick turnaround time, Charlie ensures you get the service you want and need. Visit shedtesting.com to explore his offerings and experience the best in the business. Don't miss out. Head to shedtesting.com today and unlock the power of your breeding projects.
Peace and love, family. We invite you into the heart of our serenity, Ancestral Royal Pythons. At Ancestral Royal Pythons, we're not just breeders, we're nurturers of love and growth. Each of our high-end ball pythons is a tribute to the grandeur of the natural world and our dedication to quality. Reach out today and bring one of our creations into your home. This is Ancestral Royal Pythons. Your journey begins here.
Here's to the exciting world of Ebony and Ivory reptiles. From unforgettable parties and events to keeping and hatching some of the dopest reptiles in the reptile hobby, we're all about education, quality, integrity, and respect. Hit us up and see how we can help make your next project a reality. Experience Ebony and Ivory Reptiles, where fascination meets fun.
Ebony and Ivory Reptiles.
Big shout out to the sponsors. Appreciate you, fellas, man. Y'all been holding us down for a hot minute, man. We definitely appreciate all the love y'all been showing. Make sure y'all reciprocate that love by showing them some love, following them, hollering at them, buying some animals, getting some shed tests, all that good stuff. Charlie absolutely killing it in the shed testing game. Big shout out to the homie. Got a chance to chop it up with him for about an hour the other night, and he definitely killing it in the shed testing game. So big shout out to him, man. Big shout out. So what y'all think about people like tanking project prices, right? Like producing a whole bunch in a project, like let's say Hypo DG Clown project, for example.
You had to hit that nerve with me. That's you had to hit that nerve.
What's your thoughts on it?
So if you remember back on episode 100, when I just kind of just kept it nonchalant in the kitchen, I made the comment then that auctions were going to be decimating to some of the market and the market prices. And you were like, do you really think one animal selling on auction is going to affect everything? I was like, no, it's going to start a snowball effect. So I think there's a lot to be said, for that. I don't necessarily call it, let's say what it is. Okay. Ultimately, to me, if you're producing a bunch of clutches, you have a bunch of animals, and obviously you have to make some business decisions, right? They're not cheap to feed. They're not cheap to keep. They're time consuming, and sooner or later you hit a point to where you have to sell an animal, or you got to do something to make some rack space. We've all done it. We've all faced it. Let's call it what it is. I don't know if it's project tanking as much as it is collection management, and maybe you went too deep in a project and you weren't thinking outside the box enough. So we'll just call it what it is. Let's just go ahead and yank the cat out of the barn.
I think the specific example I'm thinking of is exactly what you just said, going too deep in the project, but didn't necessarily think outside the box. Because I feel like this particular person produces basically the same exact animals every year.
And we're thinking the same person. We know who that is. And it's, if you don't grow that, then sooner or later, you can't have 50 Hypo DG clowns for sale for long before sooner or later, you're going to have to make some adjustments. And if you're not, adding to that or gene stacking or thinking, what's the next thing I can add to this to build on it, then ultimately, it's nothing more than a Kia at that point, or a Kia Soul, where you've produced 2,000 of them. Now all of a sudden you got the factory rebates coming in. Let's buy one of these Kia Souls. Here's 5,000 off, no money down, no payments for 6 months. Let's roll.
It got the same handful of incomplete dominance in the arsenal. Inchy, pastel, vanilla, chocolate, yellow belly, and lesser.
Can I just say something about that, about people tanking projects? For all the people that have just been in it for 5 years or whatever, shut the fuck up already, right? It's happened 20 times since 2000, the year 2000 or the 90s, where people tanked the Banana Project. Sure. People tanked the Desert Ghost Clown project. They tanked the Scaleless project. It's just something that happens in the hobby. And then like every 5 years or so, there's a repeat of the same thing with a different animal. Okay. No matter how much you complain about it, you're never going to stop it, because those people who started the tank job on the project, it could be known that they started it, and this is the BallPython hobby. So in 2 months, people are going to forget he did it and still continue to buy from him, and still they're going to forget that part of his history and think he's an innovator. Okay. Sure. So, it's happened with a bunch of people. Like that guy that shit on Texas about 2 years ago, he's still in business. Everybody was getting ready to run him out of the business. The insane clown posse guy, I bet he's still producing animals. He's just selling them through somebody different. I think that if the memory of the hobby doesn't improve, you're always going to get these people that tank projects. And I don't think auctions have become like a snowball effect, because an auction is just a point in time.
Yeah, I was going to circle back to the auctions. I disagree that the auctions have anything to do with that.
Yeah, I don't think they do, because let's say you got a Ferrari at a government sale in an area that the medium income is 30 grand. That Ferrari is only going to sell for 6 grand. If you take that same Ferrari to Beverly Hills, it's going to sell for 100 grand. So I don't think that the auctions have anything to do with price tanking, because it's just a one-off.
Man, that makes me feel so much better, because my ass is about to lot up some auctions later. I'm kidding.
I've never benefited from an auction, and I wasn't around during I'm out of it now, so I've missed every Morph Market auction. But if you guys remember, like the Reptile Ring and eBay auction sites, I never won any of those. So every animal that we bought, we had to pay damn near full price.
Yeah, I know the auctions get a lot of hate. Morph Market auctions, Palm Street auctions, whatever. And it's hard to say, like, do they have an impact on the market? Like, I don't know. I can't say like with or without certainty if they got like a definite impact. I will say, like, just looking at the auctions in and of themselves, I've seen like different times with auctions. When the auctions first came out, the auctions was hot, and people was just bidding up the auction price, and you was getting like 70%, 80%, right, 90%, 100% or more of the retail value of the animal. As time kind of went on, I did see, like, for me at least, that kind of average ratio of auction price versus like auction price to retail value price. I did see that like kind of going down, and like the auction prices were small. But then like I'll have sometimes where I'm just like, I just throw some up there, like this ain't gonna do nothing, and then boom, it sells for more than what I had it posted for. I'm like, what the hell?
I've had that happen.
But I also have had the auctions to where it's like $35 for something, and I'm like, man.
Oh yeah. Well, getting more for it happened during COVID, right?
No. Auctions
No, the
were around
auctions
during
came
COVID.
out after COVID.
Yeah, you don't need auctions during COVID. You just
Yeah,
basically
yeah. I just remember seeing animals on auction somewhere that were being auctioned off for double the price of what the original poster was asking. I was on Morph Market auctions the other day just because I'm a dick and I check them out every now and then. There wasn't an animal over $500 on the auctions.
What day was it?
I don't fucking know.
I do feel like time of the month matter too. That's another thing that I've noticed. Like around the 1st and the 15th, I feel like I see better like auction prices.
What do you
And
have? That's when the checks come in, Mike. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's when the checks come
All
in.
right.
Like I try to go about every other week with my auctions, like around. It's usually around the 1st or the 15th, or like around my payday. Like I feel like those are like good times for me to have an auction, because I feel like my auction prices be higher than if I do it like off that cycle, if that makes sense.
Right.
yeah, you can't let an auction end at 10 a.m. on a Monday morning because nobody's gonna buy it.
Nah.
It's not gonna sell for what it would sell for at 9 p.m. on a Friday night. It's just not.
And I feel like people have kind of gotten like, it's some people that really know how to game the auction, like they professional like auction bidders or whatever. And sometimes you see an animal won't even get early bids, right? Or to get like a handful of early bids. Like I feel like people just kind of making it so they'll get the alert whenever the auction gonna be over, and then they'll see what the price looks like around the time the auction is about to be over to see if they still want it. I feel like it'd be some people that just kind of like drop a $5 bid for that. But sometimes, man, like it'll sit for 24 to 36 hours with nobody bidding on, like almost to the point to where I almost won't even do the 72-hour auctions. Like I much rather do like a 24 or 36-hour auction just to get it over with.
Well, it's snipe money, right? It's like, we're just going to come in at the last minute and bid $20 for that snake, and we're going to see if it's accepted. Because believe it or not, there's probably hundreds of people that once they see a snake doesn't auction, they immediately contact the buyer and say, I'll give you half of whatever your initial asking, auction price was. There has to be hundreds of flippers that do that like every day.
A lot of people put them up there for like no reserve. Like I see more no reserves than I see anything else. And so it basically, if you do an auction as a no reserve auction, it's basically a guaranteed sale, and nobody bids on it.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how you guys keep up with it, man. There's no way I'd be able to keep up with that shit today.
You just got to be on it, keep your ears to the street.
Yeah, but who has the time?
None of us. That's my biggest problem is time.
Right. I think everybody's biggest problem, in life sometimes is time. But if you pay attention, and you don't have to put a lot of effort into it, you can just I'll go to Morph Market, I'll scroll to auctions, and my biggest thing is when I go to Morph Market, I pull up auctions, I'll click sort by highest bid, and I'll see what's up there at the high end. Then I'll scroll down to the low end, and actually, if you're paying attention, you can get some hell of a buy on what sells for a lot less than what you would think if you've got a game plan for it. But the biggest thing I think with auctions, if anybody's listening right now, don't buy to just buy. Have a plan for that animal when you buy it.
Yeah, that's with any purchase.
Yep, have a plan for it, because otherwise you're going to have a rack full of snakes and you really don't know what to do with it because you didn't put a lot of thought into it, and there was a lot of impulse purchases. And people that buy, you got to do a little bit better than that, because that will burn you out faster than anything.
Yeah, but also like every pet snake sold at a reptile show is an impulse buy. So there becomes a point where the impulse buyers are required for money in your pocket, and depending on the type of person that it is, believe me, there's people out there selling impulse buy snakes to anybody who will buy it. They don't care what's going to happen to the snake once it leaves their hands, And you realize that whenever people are saying like, if you ever been to the show, I'm sure you've heard it, Mike. Well, 9 snakes I don't have to take home with me. In other words, like, I don't give a shit what happens to those snakes. I just don't have to take them home,
Yeah, we've all heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, I care if a snake go to like the right person. Me personally, example of that is I had a pied female that was on auction a couple weeks back, and I put in the ad because she's not a very good eater, or she wasn't a good eater. And I was like, hey, this girl is not a great eater. Like, she like hit or miss with eating. When she's on, and she's slamming food, but when she's off for a little while until she gets back on and starts slamming food. And so she's like almost ready to breed. But my collection has kind of grown past me needing her for breeding. And so I put her on auction, disclosed all that good stuff. And so I got a message from a customer who was like, what did the person say? Is she calm? Like a random message. Because you know how you can turn on Morph Market, you can turn on the message to get messages without them inquiring to buy. But it's just like a random message. You don't know like exactly what animal they're talking about. So it's like, is she calm? And I was like, I'm sorry. The snake you got posted, is she calm? I was like, I got a lot of snakes posted. But you messaged me from this direct message, and so I don't know exactly which one you're talking about. And so the person told me which one they was talking about. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. That one's kind of head shy, but did you read the ad? Because it just seemed like new keeper behavior. And I didn't want to like assume, because I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to offend her, but at the same time, I didn't want to send that snake home with that person if they weren't like used to keeping snakes, because I didn't want them to have a bad experience like with a snake. And it's one of their first snakes, and I could have prevented it just by asking the question. So I just went ahead and asked the question, and she was like, no, I got a bunch, I'm good, I can take care of them. I was like, all right, cool, bet. All right, but I did want to let her know, because I do want people to have a good experience, particularly people like it's their first snake, because that could really shape every other interaction in terms of like snakes with them going forward. Like, they have a really bad experience, they might just totally turn them off from snakes, and that's the last thing we want, is to turn people totally off from snakes early on. So I don't even know how we got down that rabbit hole, but I figured I would share that story.
Well, the thing is too, like, I mean, even just on classifieds back when king snake was a thing, even before Morph Market, you would describe the snake down to a scale, and then you would get asked questions that the answer was already provided in the initial ad.
Oh yeah.
And anybody who did stuff like that, we immediately just disqualified from even selling food. We didn't even answer them,
Yep.
No. Because if this person's not paying enough attention to the ad, they're not going to pay enough attention to the snake, right? So, yeah. So but believe me, I hear stories every day of someone saying, I answered, 10 questions that were already in the ad, and I don't want to piss them off because then I won't lose, I might lose the sale. And if you're worried about losing sales like that, I mean, that's, I don't know, man. We're not hitting the right people,
I agree with that, Chris. I agree with that.
I see the logic there. If they're not even going to pay attention to ad, like, what makes you think they're going to pay attention to the snake?
Right.
I do give a little grace though. Like, when people ask questions about stuff that's already in the ad, like in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck? Why you read the goddamn ad? Why did I waste my time putting all that in the ad? But that's not what I do. I'll answer the question or whatever, because I realize like people don't read a lot these days, or they don't read.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be your problem. The older you get, your opinion will change on that, Mike. Just so you know.
Right.
Nobody
I
reads
promise
these
you.
days. Like, people just don't read. It's crazy.
But then you have to make it a teachable moment and convince them that they should start reading, okay? Because otherwise, it's what it's doing. It's minimizing the mentality of the buyer, and you don't want to be that guy that's minimized the mentality of all your buyers, where all the dummies know to just go to you to buy a snake. You know, because then all your customers will be like that.
But you know, back
in Justifiable crash out next time. They asked me something.
Yeah, but back in those days, though, Chris, on King Snake, you didn't have to worry about somebody leaving a review. You didn't have to worry about any of that bullshit. It was on. You know, if you sold them an animal and you told them everything there is, and they failed with that animal, then it kind of was like, all right, I told you everything you know. I'm hands off now. This is your baby.
Right.
You know, with social media and society and the way it's adapted, us as breeders, we have to take on more of a responsibility to help and assist that buyer, even when they can't read or can't do it themselves.
I don't know, man. Listen, I'm not saying that we should hunt stupid people, okay? But what I am saying is we should just let them kill themselves, okay? Right. So fucking, and one way we could do it is like stop putting do not eat on paint cans, right? Like you want to eat it, go ahead, fucking eat it, all right? Go ahead and eat it. You want to drink that gasoline, go ahead, drink it. You know, I think that
litigious society that's just not smart business. Like you gonna be
if the world was more like that, you know, then I think we'd weed out a lot of these morons that are asking things, because I see people complain on Facebook all the time, and they're totally wrong. They're totally in the wrong, yet they're yelling at the guy that made sense. You know,
yes,
and that's infuriating. Okay,
you see that a lot on Facebook, especially when it comes to animals. I mean, you see it everywhere, but I definitely see it a lot in the reptile community.
I like when you see the videos of somebody, you know, down in Florida screwing with an alligator, and they're pissed off that the alligator damn got a hold of them and ripped their leg off, and you know they're mad at the alligator. I'm like, shit. The damn alligator's just trying to go about its business. You come fucking with it. And now all of a sudden you're pissed off that the alligator ripped your hand off. What did you think it was going to do?
Yeah. I used to love that video of the golfer throwing his jacket over the head of the alligator, and then him hopping on the alligator like he was Steve Irwin, and the alligator just fucking ripping his arm off. I used to love that video.
See, he screwed up. He had it to a point. He was almost there. You almost had it. The problem was he didn't commit at the last moment.
You're right about that. Yeah.
You got to commit.
There's a little bit of hesitation.
Yep. He hesitated and it got his ass. I've got Crebos and false water cobras. When I go to interact with them, I got to commit. If I don't, they're going to get my ass.
You're gonna get bit every time. Yep.
That's crazy, man. Man, I appreciate you guys jumping on, shooting the shit tonight, saving the show. Appreciate everybody who stuck with us in the comments, man. Big shout out to y'all. Big shout out to everybody who come through later, checking this out with the replay gang. Shout out to the audio only gang. Everybody, man. Appreciate all the love y'all showing. You guys got anything you want to say before we get out of here for tonight?
Yeah. Where do I send my invoice for my showtime? My
I got you, man. fatmannation@gmail.com.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah, you do that. I'll just throw it in the other unpaid bill fucking pile. What I think somebody should do. How many people are in here right now?
There's 33. Somebody pick up.
33 people in there. Somebody throw a couple of super chats to Mike. He's probably very sad right now. A legend left him hanging. All right. Didn't come to his show. He's probably very, Mike is very depressed right now. Throw him a couple of super chats. Let's get some money in his pocket.
Mike, don't forget to sleep with the light on tonight.
You say sleep with the light on.
Yeah, that's what they do when people are on suicide watch. They have to sleep with the light
on. Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. I'm assuming he got called to India last minute, because he's doing some stuff in India with like this super rich family, maybe even like a royal family or like somebody important in India, and he's doing some work with them. And he said there was a possibility that he could get called like last minute to India. So I'm assuming that's what happened because I hadn't heard from him. But every other time I messaged him or called him, he's been super responsive. So
man, some fucking guys, right? I mean, well, like I wish I had that as an excuse in my back pocket. Like, oh, I can't make it. I got called away to India, right? Like fucking. I don't know if I would believe that, Mike. Right? Right? Yeah. Why not just say I got caught? I had to go to the moon for the night. You know.
Like,
Man,
if I
if
didn't
I
already
ever
know ahead of time that he was doing that and that was a possibility, like, because I heard it from another person too. Because Jeremy told me.
Thank you, Vinny. You just made Mike
Shout out to
smile.
Vinny.
All right.
Big shout out to Vinny. Appreciate
Chris,
the love, man.
Chris, are you going to be at Southeast Atlanta Reptile Expo?
No, I'm not going this year. I'm going to be in Gettysburg tomorrow and Saturday. Then I'm going to be in Canada. Then I'm going to be in Tinley. Those are the next shows I'm going to.
Gotcha.
Fun time.
Let's get together soon.
Yeah, you guys just let me know what we think that we're going to do. Me, Adam from Proper Royals, and Shane. We think we're gonna throw next year the proper small town fat fest, okay? And it's gonna be over a weekend, and we're gonna just get everybody together. We're gonna go to a giant Bigfoot convention in Tennessee. We're gonna go tubing and water rafting and all that other stuff, and we're gonna do some redneck shit for 2 days straight. So that's gonna happen next year. So everybody keep their eyes out for that.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
All right, man. We're gonna call it a night, man. That's it for tonight's show. For Clutch Conversations, I'm Mike. That's Josh. That's Chris. The lovely lady behind the scenes is Takar. Thank y'all for coming out. Be blessed. Peace.